I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Tottenham Hotspur, doing it the hard way since 1882. Just when you think that things are going to get better, and you're looking on January just over the horizon there, Mickey van der Ven, James Maddison getting close, couple of weeks, should be back. Along comes Cuti Romero with a hamstring injury. And it's just been announced that it's going to be somewhere in the region of 4 to 7 weeks, depending on which report you read. What a blow. What another blow. It's almost like the footballing gods are trying to test Ange Postecoglou to the absolute max. Absolute max. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. If a player can get injured, they will get injured. And then just on top of this, we've obviously still got, excuse me, phone's ringing. On top of this, we've still got Sonny going away for the Asia Cup, Bissouma and Sarr also away in the Africa Cup of Nations. So we're pretty depleted, a pretty depleted squad, and we are obviously absolutely calling out for reinforcements in January, because given this amount of injuries and given this amount of absenteeism, it's going to be a struggle. And I think we've all known that from the start, and I think we've got to be realistic about all of this. But it is really, really disappointing to see, Romero after missing games due to stupid red cards is now out due to injury. So we know what that means. It's likely to mean that Dyer comes back into the team, which, with the best will in the world, it's not great. That I'm not a hater of Eric Dyer. I think the guy has done a lot over the years. He's been picked by most of the managers, probably because we haven't really had anybody else. But he's always been professional. He's always stepped in to play his part and so on. But whether he can play the way that Postecoglou wants us to play, that's the issue, right? So for me, I think it's probably a good time for him to move on. But given that we still haven't seen anything of Ashley Phillips yet, and again, I know he was on the bench the other day, but I'm reading that he's injured or not back yet. So I'm like, there is no other option. I mean, let's face it, we brought Van der Ven in and put him straight into the team, and he's been a marvel up until his injury. So why can't that be the same for Phillips? Obviously, the manager knows best, and he knows whether he's ready or whether he's up to that level or not. But you've got to start asking yourself, is it worse than Eric? Given that he's likely to be moving on, certainly at the end of the year, if not in January. So you've got to blood him at some point, surely, to just to see what he can get. So a bit of a worry, obviously, and bearing in mind we're now coming up against Brighton tomorrow. Brighton, decent team, had some good results, had some poor results as well. I'm just looking at their last 5 games. So 2 draws, 2 losses and a win. And I know they've had some kind of mixed results against some of the teams you kind of have a look at. You go, well, they've lost against the teams like Chelsea and Arsenal, but then they've beaten Man United, I think I saw. Just kind of having a scroll through just to see if I can find where. So draw against Everton they've had, a draw against Fulham, draw against Liverpool, okay, loss against City, draw against Sheffield United. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. So you're kind of hoping that the team that have struggled against some of the other teams that you would expect to beat is the one that turns up. So I'm thinking, the team that played maybe Palace, or the team that played Brentford, Burnley, those kind of results are the ones that you're hoping that you're going to be able to get hold of. From an attacking point of view, obviously we're doing all right. We've still got Kulu. Starting to see some good stuff coming from Brennan Johnson now. He's getting a little bit more regular. Sonny's there. You've got Richarlison hitting form. The big threat's going to be, are we going to be able to score enough goals to keep Brighton at bay? Because they've scored pretty much every game by the look of it. There's a couple, one there I can see that they haven't, but they have scored fairly regularly. So they're likely to put us under pressure. They're likely to push and push, which could play into our favour if we can get a good foothold fairly quickly. But we are away from home, so we'll see where it takes us. But yeah, really disappointing to see Romero out. That's got to mean that we've got to do some business, because, as I say, I can't see Eric Dyer staying around too long, and you want to get someone in January who's going to be able to bed in for the rest of this season and hopefully get better and better next season, in the same way sort of Porro did maybe. But we need someone who's going to hit the ground running. The injuries is just getting crazy, and you've got to have someone who you can bring in at the same quality that you've got Romero. And I know it's not easy. It's not going to be easy. But really, really disappointing. Really, really disappointing news yet again. Another player injured, another key player injured as well. So we're back to where we were, back to square one. At least we have got Udogie back. Udogie, we've got him back, so he can play. Sar's doing okay. So yeah, we'll see where it's going, and kind of go from there. Fingers crossed for a decent result. We just got to get past this one and Bournemouth, who are in really good form as well. And then we can see what happens in the January transfer window, because we've really got to get that recruit in to see us through to the end of the season. We're in such a good position. Results have gone our way. Man United beating Villa is a really good result for us. So it's all kind of, going in our favour. It looks most likely that Villa are the ones we're going to have to battle if we want to get top four. I think it's probably a shoo-in for Man City to come back strong. Wouldn't surprise me if they didn't win the league. You know what they're like. Liverpool looking strong again, Arsenal looking strong again, but you just got to hope that they kind of drop some points somewhere along the line to keep us in touch. But I think Villa will be the ones that you'd kind of be targeting to jump over, if that's possible. So fingers crossed, but we'll see where we'll go. So looking forward to the game against Brighton and see where we come out of that. Got enough to win it, provided we score enough goals. Obvious thing to say, I guess. But we know they're going to try and target that defence, and without Romero. It's another big worry, but I am not going to be a doom and gloom merchant. You can't be a doom and gloom merchant. This is Tottenham. We've got to believe in the manager. We've got to believe he knows what he's doing. And we've got to hope that the players play to their best ability and really turn something out, dig in deep and really do the business for us. I'll leave it there. Up the Spurs.